This is John McAllister, and today I'd like to talk about football camps. And I'm getting a lot of questions about football camps, about how valuable they are, which ones to go to, and all those kinds of questions. And first I would tell you that we used to run football camps and combines. We considered it all educational, and I think that it did. And the combines grew into football camps. The combines started because I was at Ohio State camp once years ago, and one of the GAs that was running the pro shuttle didn't care. Just run them through, didn't care. Well, a lot of kids were getting embarrassed, and I thought, man, I ought to check this out. And we did, and we started our own camps, combines, just to educate the players, the campers, on how to do it and what to expect. And we may have given them 3 or 4 chances just to understand it. Times were okay. We recorded times. We posted them and things like that, but they weren't the most important thing. And it took Mark Porter. He never did get into it because he for some reason, just kept beating me up with why having camps and sarcastically and all these things. But that's come to be his MO. But anyway, I think I see so many camps and weekends where it's almost like a recess, and they're not really teaching kids. They're not really breaking down things, and you have to have quality people. I had Chuck Gresham running my camps, and he did a heck of a job. He's located out of Columbus, and he did a heck of a job. Timing was excellent. We hired guys that knew how to time. We hired guys that knew how to teach the drill and all those things. And so I think it was very worthwhile. But back to the camps you've asked me about, I think the number one thing is, how expensive is it? How much does it cost? How many hours of training do you get? What do you go over? And what do you work on? What kind of drills? And are you teaching different cone drills and different ball skills and blocking skills and things like that? The Cleveland Browns last year, I thought, did a good job with their camp. I haven't heard anything more about it. And it's not going to get your big-time athletes because they're not going to come to it. Now, they do have young college coaches there from the Division II and III schools to watch. Division I can't. No matter what you hear, Division I coaches cannot work those private camps in May and in June. They can't. People think they can. They advertise they can, but they can't. So you get Division II and Division III coaches, and they're still good to evaluate. I would check out who's going to be there, how many are going to be there, and just how far do you have to travel, and who's running. Do a little research. Now, the positive of camps too, another positive is that you get to work out. You get to throw the football. You get to catch the football. You get to run drills. And you get to block, you get to do one-on-ones, and you'll maybe learn something. You maybe pick up a little technique here or there, or a little, with your hands at the quarterback, or how to carry the football. Anything, a little thing that's really comes important. And I think that's huge, picking up little things about the camp. Now, evaluations, who knows? I don't know how good they are. I don't know. There are evaluations. Who's doing it? Who's evaluating? What are they evaluating? Now, go back to, I missed one point there. When you pick up little tidbits and things like that, little nuggets, then make sure your football coach knows about it. Your high school coach knows about it. Your offensive line coach said, Coach, check with him and see what he says. And talk, don't be stubborn and just do it on your own because one person said so. Talk to your coach about it. And then I also think, now this being an old coach, I also think you need to talk to your coach about going to the camp, that you're going to go to the camp. And I think that he needs to know that. And he needs to understand, about the camps that you want to go to. I think it's huge. Of course, again, I'm an old coach and the head football coach, and I think it's important to treat the high school coach right. Those are camps, and I think they're okay, but just have fun with it and work out. And but as far as walking away with a scholarship, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to walk away with some maybe love from a Division II coach or Division III. Division II football is really, really good. You might, and then plus they can also network you and say, hey, we saw this guy here, we saw that guy there. I talked to Drew Allar last 2 years ago. I mean, he was only a freshman, and I remember talking to his dad, and I just said, you got a future, you got a chance. I told him little things to work on, and I don't know if he did or not, but he's pretty good. I think he's the best quarterback in Ohio in the 2022 class. I think he's the best quarterback prospect. And I also, just different people, saw a big lineman that's gone to Clemson. He came to the camp as an 8th grader. And I think that leads me into another point. If you're an underclassman, go. If you're a freshman, why not go? If you're a sophomore, why not go? Especially freshmen and sophomores. Because if you go to Cleveland Browns camp, the one I'm thinking about, they do a lot. They do so much. All high school coaches work the camp, or they're the position coaches and things like that. And I would go. Pick up a little bit. Pick up some. And, it's quality. I don't know how much it costs. Get a T-shirt, things like that. But just make sure, that you're going to get something out of it. And then have fun with competition. Cost, that's concern. And parents the Browns, they get to line up on the outside. I heard there's one up, the All-Ohio camp up in Toledo. That's neat. All-Ohio, that doesn't really mean anything. Just trying to get your attention. That is, they say Ohio, just trying to catch your attention. They want you to come to it. If it's the same camp, I think when they started their business years ago, their camps up there, they had a combine, and guys were turning in just fantastic times on a pro shuttle. So I went down and watched it, and come to think there weren't any lines. So you just touched an area. And that's true because I was there. In that same camp, they had, I think they had 7 kids run 4.4 better. You ain't gonna do that. That's just what it is. But I mean, it's such, and then people get that, and I can't believe it, can't trust it. So I think camps are good. And maybe if a dad or your mom goes, talk to a coach there and see what they think and things like that about the whole camp operation. And I think it's got to be organized. And, sometimes when you get too many kids, then you wait in line. You wait in lines, and you try to, when we did our camps, we tried to make use of everything as much as we could. And it went pretty well, to be honest with you. We're in Columbus and camp, and then we had a Massillon and things like that. But you asked me about camps, and conversation. I think they're good, but don't get caught up in money. Don't you think you're going to walk away with scholarship? Now there's a big camps, the one two out in Indianapolis and things like that. Now you could have a bad day, and that could hurt you, or you could have a good day, and that could help you a lot. And out there in those bigger camps, don't forget who's evaluating you. Don't forget who's evaluating you, and don't forget who's leading the drill or teaching you or in charge of the quarterback drill or in charge of the different lineman drills. Just make sure those guys are quality people. And in Michigan, they run a big lineman's camp. I think they do a good job. Jeff Burke does a good job down in Dayton running the camp. So there's more to it. Get on the internet and look for high school football camps. I really believe, and we'll talk about it again, the colleges are going to be able to run camps in June. I really think they will. They have to find some way. to be evaluating kids and get kids on campus. I think that the bad part of that, we'll talk about it some other time. You'll be limited in the number of kids, and also no more overnight camps. And I'm sure you'll be limited to contact and things, but they got to get on campus. You know, Ohio State did a great job, and they've got thousands, but they're not going to be able to have that many. I think, you know, a third of that many maybe. But that'll be precautions taken. Hopefully that's what, March, April, that's May. That's 3 months away, so a lot can be happening by then. Okay, this is John McAllister, and again, I hope I've helped you some with camps. I don't think they're a bad thing. You know, the Nike camp, they're coming up, and you know, those are different subjects. You know, the Elite 11 and things like that, and we'll talk about that some other time.